so hot in my fucking room. But it's kind of nice too. I was just furiously programming bass music earlier and sweating like a hog. And I started thinking. I started thinking. About movies, and somebody did a video, Gangstalking targeted individuals video one time about the movies that reminded them of what it was like to be targeted. And I'm going to get to that, but first I'm going to remind you that these kind of techniques were used against and for very serious black operations where people knew things that they weren't supposed to talk about, and really crazy stuff. So they make you look like you're crazy and no one will ever believe you. It's not supposed to be so widespread. It's pretty dangerous because it doesn't always work. A lot of the operatives kind of frown on it, and in a lot of cases it's like old ideas being rehashed and things like that, or just someone thinking that they can do a better job with it. But it's not like that. It's more like knowing someone's gonna shoot you and selling them the gun that they're gonna shoot you with, and when they try to shoot you with it, it blows up in their face. It's pretty complicated, but we all have to deal with these things in a human and spiritual way. That's one of the ways it backfires, is it's not always easy to reduce everyone to Pavlov, to Mendeleev and things like that, Maslow. It's not, there's other things. I mean, you can try and use it, say it's symbolism or anything like that, but it never matters what it is. The sensitivity, the sensitizing, it doesn't matter what you sensitize them to. It doesn't matter what the cue is. Alright? Because that's what they want to cue for subliminal suggestion as part of the routine. And ultimately, if it doesn't work right, they try to make you look like you're crazy. So if you had seen something like a real electronic weapon and seen someone even been about using it or something like that, then they might also use the rest of the intel to confuse you a little bit, ruin you, make you seem crazy. So when you figure out what's going on and you tell somebody about it, you'll be discredited. It's a pretty dated idea in a way. And the reason it breaks down to gang stalking is because all it really is a thug kind of intimidation. It's a Stasi intimidation, that Hitler Youth programming. What's funny about all that Nazi shit is that it's was a pretty big failure. So most of the people that saw it and that knew what they were actually doing, when they saw that stuff, they associated it with failure, and they were right, and inhumanity, and they were right, and always attributed having that information around and keeping it, and not as something that we would ever do. But if someone was terrible and desperate, they'd try and use that shit. So the movies, the one that I always like I was like, hold on, hold on. One was like that trips me out is the Scanner Darkly. That's so shitty. That's some parts of that movie are like, supernatural series, nothing in particular, but like just like huge bad thing happens, things like that. And then there's this scene where dude's talking to his toaster. He thinks it's his dead friend. It's some kind of medium, huh? It's pretty sad. The violence, the terror, the manipulation, the threats. It's so torrid from my point of view. You know, it's like completely the shit that I was trying to avoid. You know, really getting involved in certain things because I say that they're not so good, and that's kind of how that stuff starts happening to me. But I already had short waves, had ceramic baking ceramics and things like that when I was really young. You know, molds and things. Anything can be accomplished. I mean, it's the other movie is from the 80s. It's called Real Genius. For perps and targets. Dude, Real Genius is hilarious. It's so funny. It's about these guys that are genius, and of course they have like what amounts to voice to skull technology, you know, thermal weaponry. They can make ice and weather indoors, and yeah, it's pretty funny. I liked it. What makes it so innocuous is the technology is presented sort of this harmless, heroic fashion, but if you'll see, like, there's like serious military jets flying around and shit, drones, everything. It's all in Real Genius. That movie. It's from the 80s. It's good too. It's funny. It's about some geniuses and use that shit. They use that shit. There might have been something else. I should probably read like some kind of good. Because one of the main reasons that you'd end up caught up in this is you probably make the right choice at the wrong time. You know? For the perps, like the people who know that they're perps, they try to like make it look like it's just, I don't know. At first it was sensitizing, but once I caught on, it was like this sort of naturalizing thing. They're like, no, don't be sensitive to the cue, just ignore it. Or, well, some chicken shit. I don't know what to tell them. It's like a voodoo woman throwing bones at me. She's like, look, bam, and throws a bunch of bones on the table. Like, I don't need those bones. I was probably gonna eat something, but all you get there is bones. We were talking about voodoo and the headless chicken routine and things like that, all that good stuff with targets and the people who follow with targets and the people who stalk them. I didn't complain, you know. I didn't complain too much about frats and things tonight, and hazing, and how shitty that is, and how, you know, that's one of these really blatant situations where it's like how you're judging them and as someone's judging you. It's terrible ideas from, like, you know, secret societies. People have a right to their privacy and their secrets, but I don't know. And when it comes to secrets, I always found that the some secrets give you power as you give them away. Some secrets give you power as you keep them. Uh, yeah, it's kind of stretching the time. It takes forever to upload where I'm from, but I know what to do. There's so many beautiful women in my neighborhood all the time on Friday nights. It's nice. I appreciate that. Oh. 10th and Lincoln. You know? Alright, well, in the club district, I see and hear a lot of boozy shit too, though. I mean, like half the time people are having a good time. Maybe more now that it's summer. More good times. For a minute. Unless it gets too hot. It's just really hot in here, up here, because the ventilation is different in this side of the building. I hope you can fucking hear what I'm saying. Anyway. Isaiah 5. Hear this, O priests, give heed, O house of Israel, hearken, O house of the king, for the judgment pertains to you, for you have been a snare at Mizpah, and a net spread upon Tabor, and they have made deep the pit Shittim, but I will chastise all of them. I know Ephraim and Israel is not hid from me, for now, O Ephraim, you have played the harlot. Israel is defiled. Their deeds do not permit them to return to their God. For the spirit of harlotry is within them, and they know not the Lord. The pride of Israel testifies to his face. Ephraim shall stumble in his guilt. Judah shall also stumble with him. With their flocks and herds they shall go, and they'll seek the Lord, but they will not find him. He has withdrawn from them. They have dealt faithlessly with the Lord, for they have borne alien children. Now the new moon shall devour them with their fields. Amen. You know, I always just tell people don't drag their kids in this, or they're losing. They're cheating, basically, so they don't think they can win, so they get their loved ones or personal things and their children involved, and try to use those things to deliberate anything of importance. But really, those things are personal. And if anything is important, those personal things will be set aside. The people, you know, they'll try all kinds of crazy things. If God is with them, they'll succeed. And